Well, hello everyone. My name is Kevin Cheney and you're in my blacksmith shop, Red Maple Forge. And today is Tool Tuesday. Now, if you haven't been here for a while, Tool Tuesday is where I make a tool. Yeah, that's Tool Tuesday. So today, if you can see from the text down below, we are doing a small cross peen hammer. Why a small cross peen hammer? Because I don't have one. So my smallest one is actually my 2-pounder, which is on the anvil right there. Sorry, music a little too loud, sorry. 2-pound hammer is my smallest cross peen that I really use. So I want to make a little bit smaller one. So I got a piece. First started off as a round piece of, I'm pretty sure it's 4140. It is mystery steel. Came from a spindle. I'm pretty sure it's a 4140 or equivalent, maybe a 5160, something in that area. So I have squared it off, roughly. So this started as a 1 1/4 inch, and I have also put a center mark on it where I am gonna start punching the eye for this hammer. And if you notice, I am using my pickup tongs that I made. It was one of the first Tool Tuesday, I think, that I made these guys. Yeah. Also, I will be using my split and punch, which looks a little bit like that. Now, if you don't have a split and punch, you can easily take, you know, a chisel, a regular chisel, and just take down the point of it. And on mine, you can't really see it that much, but there is a little bit of tiny angle, and it does get kind of a point in the middle. Really hard to see. It's not very defined on this one. This one has been used before, and I need to clean it up a little bit more. I did a rough cleaning for this live stream, but it could do with a little bit more shaping. So I'm going to get that heated up, and I want to do this as much with hand tools as possible. I did use the press to square it, just time getting into this stream. Can be done with by hand, no problem, or with your buddy with a big sledgehammer. So if you didn't know, if you're on Twitch watching this, I'm also on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, I'm also on Twitch. I got those chats open right now, so I can actually see you chatting in it. And if you have comments or questions, you can put it in there, and if I see it, I will answer the best of my ability. I can read them from the anvil, but a little bit further back, my safety glasses are a little dirty, a little scratched up, so it's a little bit harder to see. So, anyways, we're on those two platforms. So if you're on YouTube and you're trying to find me on Twitch, I do have it in the bottom comment kind of section where my Twitch is. It's actually under my business name, Red Maple Forge. And if you're on Twitch and you're looking for me on YouTube, it's actually under my own personal name, which is Kevin Cheney. Yeah, let's make this as hard as possible for myself. Oh no, did I lose my autofocus on this? So I saw it flip. Maybe it's just me. So I have actually locked both cameras so it don't autofocus anymore. I noticed that there was some jitteriness in the videos. So I'm hoping that limits them a little bit. I am not going to be using, because I'm using a hand punch to punch the eye, I'm not going to be using any of like punch lube or anything like that. The punch lube I use with the press, it's actually in this little cup here, and it looks pretty gross. My punch lube, which is not like liquid in any form, it's actually beeswax and graphite. works really well. I do plan on making another batch of lube where it's uses dish soap and graphite powder. I haven't got there yet. Lots of times when I'm punching eyes, I'm using the press, so the beeswax is not too bad for that. But because we're doing it by hand today, I'm not going to bother using any lube. I'm not going to be hammering it so far down that I'm worried about it getting stuck. So I am wearing a glove on my tong handle because, you know, when I'm doing the punch, I am going to be kind of close to that hot steel. So I want to kind of keep my hands a little bit cooler than, you know, what having a punch over top of a hot steel can do. So we're going to get a good heat on that. I probably will pump up my forge just ever so slightly. I'm currently at 10 psi, which is pretty good. I'm going to crank it up a little bit. I'm going to crank it to 13. The manufacturer of my Mighty Forge, they say 15 psi is pretty well the max. You can go higher than that, but it really doesn't have any benefit. You start putting too much fuel in there and not enough oxygen. Most of the time when I'm running bigger stuff like this, I am around the 10, 12 psi. I'm going to run a little bit hotter today just because I want to be able to move quick through this street. And the amount of heats I can do as quickly as possible is always better. So I am bringing out the big boy. Well, I say big boy, he's only a 3-pounder. My 3-pound hammer. This guy I did do a video on. If you're not subscribed to my channel on YouTube, it's actually the video that is the main video that shows up when you go on if you're not subscribed. That was quite a years ago. I'm thinking 4 now. So yeah, it's held up pretty good. It's got a little ding. I should reface this a little bit. Should reface it. It's got a couple of dings in it. So I should reface that soon, but we'll get to that. Now, how far will I get today on this? I'm not sure. Like always with these streams, I do have a semi-time limit because of my little puppy, River. So I have a center mark here. I'm going to line up as best as I can. And for these first couple of heats, I am really taking my time, or hits I should say, taking my time, making sure that I keep straight, I'm in line with the billet, because I want to be going straight down. Now once I get this locked in, I will be able to hit a little bit harder. You're probably going to see me take some extra heats on this. This is a little bit smaller of a billet than I normally work with. I normally do a 3-pound hammer. And as I'm doing this, I'm rotating the billet as well as rotating the punch. This punch is a little bit off from the last time I used it. So I do want to also rotate the punch while I'm doing this. I really wish my forge did have like a lower, like a valve to go lower when I don't have something in the forge. So we'll see how it goes. I do have the one side blocked off. You probably don't see the flames coming out. Oh, it does want to autofocus. Oh. Is this one doing it too? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure why this happens, but my settings sometimes don't lock in place. So bear with me for a second while I try and force this to not autofocus. See if that helps. No, it still does. Sorry about this. Hopefully that locks it in place. One of the nice things about doing live streams. So again, I'm just gonna keep punching this through. I'm gonna go about 2/3 of the way through. And with a small billet like this, it shouldn't take too long. Maybe a couple heats. And once I get like really into place, and the chisel is feeling good, and the hole is looking good, I can move a lot quicker on the hits. You'll see me do 2 hits instead of just the 1. And it does help if I don't drop the piece on the floor. Whoop. Now, lucky enough, this is a decent sized billet still, even though it is a little bit lighter, that I can get away with doing a couple more hits on this. I do want to get as much out of each heat as possible without overdoing it. And again, I'm constantly turning that billet around. This is helps keeps everything straight. I'm gonna also flip my chisel around or my punch around. I am going to occasionally quench my punch. So we'll take another heat on this side before we switch up to the other side. Keeping my anvil clean as much as possible with this. And yeah. Just doesn't want to stay in one place. So my punch is a little bit off center. This is why occasionally I'm rotating it. And that's the punch itself, not the eye I'm punching. And the more straight you can make this, the better it is, because you have to mate this up on the other side. So we're getting pretty well there. I'm probably going to do another heat on this side. Actually, where am I at? Yeah, I might do another heat on this side, and then I'll come in from the other side and finish that off. So I'll take another heat going this way. I'm currently going. I will, after that heat, while it's still in a cold state, I'm going to do my mark for the other side. I'll get a center punch ready. And just in case, my soapstone as well. And now I notice the other one is not locked either. Yeah, there we go. Woo! Because I got stuck in there, I just quenched my punch a little bit just because it got way too hot. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna see, it's gonna be a dark spot. So I'm gonna start right where that dark spot is. I'm gonna take a second, see if I can see how it looks on the other side. Looks like I got it pretty good. Now I used to do a center mark on both sides before starting punching either side. And I have found that this little technique here, where you're doing it a little bit more like a hole that you're punching, works a little bit better for me. I use the swelling on the side of the blank billet, to judge where I am, and based on like where it is actually swelled out, I kind of go for the center of that. Now, with doing it on the press, it's a lot easier because I have a small divot on the bottom of my the plate for the stripper bars. So when I'm actually punching, I'll get actually a little mark right where that punch is gonna go on the other side. So I can quickly punch it 2/3, get it off, flip it over, and I'll have a little mark to actually see where I'm going. On this one, I don't have that luxury. But it's just little tiny things like that that makes it a little easier for you if you do have a press. Now I'm not gonna go too far in this side. I am taking my time a little bit, making sure I'm straight. I'm gonna rotate the billet. I'm actually gonna flip it over just to see if I can see that plug, or what's gonna be the plug, is coming down how it should. The first axe I ever did, which I showed a couple of episodes ago, I actually didn't line up the hole very well, and it was quite a fight, me and another blacksmith, to actually get that back to where it wants to be. So I'm actually going back on the first side just to see how it affects this side. So I'm just going to take a look down it if I can, just to see. I'm pretty close. I'm a little bit sideways. I won't be able to show you this, I know, on the camera. I'm a little bit out. So what I'm gonna do before I go too much on this side, actually I'm gonna fix it from this side, I think. So I'm a little bit off. Like we're talking like maybe a 30-second. Maybe less than that, maybe a 64th off. Just a little bit off. This is not going to be a perfectly clean plug. But that's okay. We can fix it. So I'm going to put the punch on a little bit of an angle right now so I can try and meet up those holes perfectly. I'm going to make sure, yep. So now I'm looking good. I'm going to see if I can finish this off in this heat. I won't if I keep on dropping it. Again, as I'm punching this, I am gonna keep on flipping that billet around. This helps keep everything straight, square, and I'm very close of getting that punch out. Like I said, I was a little bit off angle-wise. Little off, so I'm trying to go in gently from the first side to get that a little bit more in place. And what I don't want to do is go too crazy on either side and force this plug into one of the sides. It is close to giving up. And there's the plug there. Just the nasty little plug. You might not see it because it's so tiny. There's the little plug there. Get rid of that. Oh, hey, John. Sorry you can't stay for the whole thing, but I'm glad that you popped in for a little bit. I appreciate that. Ramrod Destroyer, how you doing? First time I've seen you here. Oh, hey, Peter. Now that we got that plug out of the way, got that hole done, I am gonna have to drift it with my slot punch ever so slightly. My drift for my hammers is not that small, so I got to drift it first with that to get my normal drift over. Oh, I'm always having a good time. Anytime I can beat steel, it's fun. So if you just dropped in, I'm doing a small ball peen hammer. Cross peen hammer. So pretty well, my 2-pounder, which is probably one that you see all the time on this show, or most of the time. That's actually my smallest one. And then we step up to the 3. I got a 4-pounder back there too, but I don't have anything smaller. So that's where this guy's coming in. And pretty well, you got to the point where I just finished punching the hole. And it is a little bit back from center. And the reason why I've done that is when I shape the cross peen, I kind of want the distance roughly the same. I'm not on this one, I'm not worried about having too much weight on either side. I'm not looking for a balanced hammer. Where when I do my 3-pounders, I actually will do right in the center so the weight is even on both sides. So I just worked the one side. I'm going to start working the other side as well. And I'm bringing down the cheeks a little bit as I do this, as I stretch this steel out, drift that eye a little bit. And hitting down the cheeks it does help release the drift. So here we are. That's the first drift. Just gonna see how I'm doing with see if my normal drift will fit. It's close. I'm probably gonna have to use my split and punch one more time. Oh, it's got warm in here. Yeah, it's got warm in here. Just gonna open the upstairs window. Okay. My forge needs to be relined. That was just parts of my forge just completely coming out. Anyways, back to the hammer. Okay, at this point, I should be okay to go on to my hammer drift. So I'll get another heat on this and move forward. Don't mind me doing a little bit of house cleaning. That was part of the refactory on my forge. So, yeah. I'll just get that out of the way so I don't step on it. This is actually the 13 years of scale buildup is kind of finally coming out of the bottom. So I am planning on relining the forge this year. I've been waiting for a little bit warmer weather. It's still a little bit chilly up here in Ontario. So yeah, I gotta make a trip coming soon to get some refactory. I'm lucky I'm about 2 or 3 hour drive away from one of the manufacturers of it. So it's actually worth me driving there than it is to ship it. And it's actually interesting how cheap a bag of it is when you don't have to ship it. And I should have prepped this heat a little bit better, but we'll go for it. So this particular drift I made out of axle from a Volkswagen Golf. A 2004 Volkswagen Golf. Come on. Whoop. Now, as I'm drifting this, I'm checking both sides of the cheeks of the hammer. So each side of beside the eye, and I'm trying to keep an eye on making sure those stay the same thickness as I'm working this. And if I need to, I will correct. And there's different techniques to correct if one side is getting a little bit thicker than the other. Depending on what forge you have, if you have a coal forge, it's a lot easier because you can isolate the heat onto one side of the cheek than you can on a propane forge. So some things I have done in the past is have it so it's just at the door of my forge, so only one side is getting the main heat. With the other one, yes, it is heating up, but not as much. Another thing I've seen guys do is they'll have like a squirt bottle, a squirt bottle, and they'll actually squirt on the thinner side of just a dusting of water just to cool it off. Not to do any quenching, but just to cool it off a little bit before they start drifting again. Because when you drift, if you have one side hotter than the other, that hotter side will move a lot easier than that cold side. And that's how you correct any of that thinness on one side when it's like going a little twisted and all that. It's best to take your time when you're first learning to not have those issues show up. Speaking from experience, some of those are really hard to get out when you go too far with it. So if you're watching a YouTube video or something like that, you're like, oh, that guy can do it in like 2 heats. Well, yeah, he's probably done it so many times that 2 heats is nothing for him. So if it takes you 3 or 4, or 5 or 6, you know what? That's okay. I guarantee you that guy that only takes 2 heats now used to take 4, 5, 6 heats to do the exact same thing that he's doing now. Now, because I am probably going to make my own handle for this, size of what I'm doing here is going to more dictate on how I feel and how much steel I want to move away from that center. For small hammers, it's rather not a lot of steel on those cheeks. So, let's see. I don't know how well this is going to show up. But, so these are 2 store-bought hammers. One's a cross peen, and one used to be a ball peen. If you look on the ball peen, how thin the cheeks are compared to with this cross peen, how thick those cheeks are. And that is a very common thing, is that the smaller the handle, a hammer, the cheeks can be smaller. But if you're doing this yourself and you want fat cheeks, go ahead and make fat cheeks. The ball peen I made, the little tiny guy, she's got fat cheeks on her. So I'm actually very close to where I'm going to say done with the drifting. For a rough drift right now, after forging, I might go back in and do my final drifting of the eye. I'm just taking a moment now and making sure I got a lot of my kinks out of here, that it's working out pretty straight. And I think that is going to be it for the drifting, or at least the initial drift. And we'll start getting the peen put into this. Just doing a quick time check. There's a part of me that wants to get the tongs I fixed yesterday out, but also there's a part of me that I'm afraid to bring them out and find out they're not good. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just put these on the sideline just in case. Just doing a little bit of cleanup while I wait for that to heat up a little bit. We'll try the hammer eye tongs. I tried these with a 3-pounder yesterday to see how well they work, and they kind of work a lot better than what they were. So we'll see how they do with this little guy. To be honest, I don't know what size this guy is right at this point in time. I didn't weigh it. I could do some quick calculation, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on the smaller side of this. I'm going to start trying to hit that in my cross peen. Yeah. Not working for that guy. Come on. I keep on forgetting because I'm used to doing like 3-pound hammers. They don't sit in the side hole of my forge. Well, this guy does, so we'll only heat up the cross peen part at this point in time. This guy. I'll keep on trying the hammer eye tongs. I'll keep on trying it. Now, depending on how big of a cross peen hammer you're making, you may find that you're getting what we call kind of fish lips at the bottom. This one is starting to do it a little bit. So I'm going to take as much time as I can right now to work this. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to actually knock down those fish lips a little bit. So for that, we're going to get the drift out again. We're going to take it, we're going to put the drift in, and we're going to put it on its head. We're going to start knocking down that little lip of fish lips that happens because of this. We're going to take a little bit of time to straighten up everything while we're here. Knocking back the corners a little bit helps this too. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that very well. I'm just knocking down the very tip corner here, as well as here, yeah, and then on the other side. Just to help a little bit from that fish lips continuing on, I should say. This is something that, if you're using a press and a power hammer, it happens a little bit less because you're able to move so much more steel with every blow. It still does happen, but not nearly to the same degree. Also, if you had a striker wielding a big 14-pound sledge, this will happen a little bit less as well. And that's because you can affect more of this mass underneath the surface of the steel with that extra weight. I unfortunately put it in the forge wrong, so I couldn't pick it up nicely with these tongs right off the bat, which is kind of disappointing. So I'm just going to keep on working both sides. Every so often, coming to the side, cleaning that up, because it will puff out. Getting there. That's starting to look a little bit like a fat boy cross piece. I want a little bit more slender, so I will be bringing that out a little bit more. At this point, I'm not really too worried about my fish lips anymore. We can definitely dress it up afterwards with a little bit of filing. Or with a grinder. So today I'm pretty well just focused on getting this forged out. And then I'm gonna anneal it overnight. And then tomorrow I probably will pick this up where we dress it and hopefully put a handle on it. I don't know if I have a handle already ready to go. Maybe this guy. Maybe this guy. A nice ash handle. I don't know. I'll have to go through. I still have a couple of ash handles that I bought pre-made. I'm kind of trying to get through them as fast as possible. If I don't have one that I necessarily like with it, I will just make one. Now, the reason why I mostly use ash handles now is the ash I get is only like a 10-minute drive away from me. Where hickory is a little bit harder for me to get. I have to actually order it in from the States. also, based on what I've heard from old timers, the ash tends to be a little better in colder climates than hickory handle. A hickory handle is better from a durability point of view and rot resistant durability, but I've heard that an ash handle keeps a little bit more flexible in the really cold temperatures. I'm talking like, you know, where I don't have to talk about Fahrenheit or Celsius because it's the exact same, you know, that kind of minus 40 point. Not that I get there that much, but it has been known to get down there. We definitely get down to the big goose egg or minus 20. You notice me pick up my pickup tongs again this time. I'm finding my hammer tongs are misleading me the angle that I'm hitting this at. So I've actually gone a little bit too far on one side. I was trying to really keep this as straight as possible. So you might see me take a couple of heats of straightening this out before I go too much further. Trying to keep the peen as straight as possible. It is easier to deal with that way. So I'm thinking maybe 2 more heats on this this peen to get it where I want it, and also to clean it up again. Hey, Kind Pingu, it's going pretty good. It's a little warm in here today. How you doing? So I'm making a small cross peen hammer. So pretty well like my 3-pound hammer, but a lot smaller. And I'm doing this with all hand tools. Well, that's not true. I did use the press. It started off as a round bar, similar to this guy, which is 1.25 inches. I did use my press before the live stream just to square it off a little bit. But other than that, I've done all of it by hand. So right now, I got it basically the shape I want, so now it's just cleaning up everything to make it look a little bit nicer. Making sure everything's square, cleaning up my lines. I am going to take my corners and knock them ever so slightly down. It's just more of a personal preference on my part than anything. And of course, I can clean up any of these lines with a file afterwards, but I prefer forging as close to finish as possible. One of the reasons why I don't necessarily do a lot of knives or knives at all, I don't like grinding. So, and I realize that with a knife you can get pretty close to the final. Okay, so now that I got the cross peen part of it all nice and cleaned up. All nice and cleaned up now. I'm gonna clean up a little bit on the flat side. Not much work has to be done, but just a little bit. Do that final drift, and then I'll get this annealed. And then tomorrow, before putting on the handle, well, after I do the heat treat, I guess. I'll do the heat treat tomorrow. It's got to relax. I just stressed it a lot, so it's got to relax overnight before I do my heat treat tomorrow. So I'll be here at 1:30 Eastern, starting that up. Might do some file work depending on how I feel. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's finish cleaning this up. Like I said, this side, the square side, doesn't need much. It's just really doing a little bit of cleanup. My face is not perfectly flat. That I probably will. I'll do a little bit while I'm drifting my final size, but I think for the most part, I'm gonna leave it and then I can use a file to clean it up. Solely because if I do this too much, I am going to cause a little bit of an issue with my eye, possibly. So before I get my final drift, I'm going to clean up the back end a little bit. It's not bad. So I'm just holding the drift on the edge of my anvil and trying to get that flattened out. It's not bad. So going for a nut heat just on that back end, or the what's going to be the flat face. I'm doing that just so I don't overstretch my eye. So I want to make sure I don't have all that much heat in the eye itself. I'm only concentrating on that very flat face side. It is going to be a little bit concave while I'm done, but a quick file will fix that up tomorrow. It's always best to be ready for the heat before you start. So here I'm not really drifting anything. I'm just getting the drift snug in there. I'm going to take a quick boo at how my flat side's doing. I'm going to concentrate on any high sides. It's not terrible, so whoop, almost lost it. Get back in there. Now that I got it pretty well flat, I'm going to take a second, clean up my chamfers on the sides. I like putting chamfers. And then we'll go in for our final drift. Whoop. Come on. I'm going to make sure I got a good heat all the way around that eye. And again, because I'm going to be using either my own hammer handle or a relatively small one. It's not really a store-bought. It was actually made by a gentleman. I'm not going to worry about size on the eye. If I was using a store-bought hammer, I used to have marks actually on this that would tell me where to stop, depending on what handle I was using. They have long gone because I kind of stopped buying store-bought handles. But there's nothing wrong with store-bought. I just I prefer to do as much as I can myself. It adds to the craftness of it, I guess. Which is interesting because probably way in the old days, the blacksmith would just make the hammerhead and it would be sent off to the woodworker to put the handle on. Or maybe the buyer would just put their own handle on. I don't know. I'm not saying the blacksmith couldn't do handles, but I'm pretty sure that he probably just made the head and you fended for yourself with the handle. I could be completely wrong. I'm not a historian, I'm a blacksmith. But I know with stuff like arrowheads in the medieval time, it was very much a guy would make the heads and it would be sent off to someone to put it on the bolt or the shaft of the arrow. So if you notice, I'm drifting from both sides. What this will do is cause an hourglass inside, which is far superior in holding the handle in place. So right now, just double checking how it is lining up, and if I need to cheat it one side or the other, as in, how is it going to sit on the handle? Do I need to come in with my drift angled to drift that back end a little bit more? Do I need to come in front? And like right now, that is pretty well where I'm actually going to grab the handle I have up here. I want to see how close it is. Yeah, that's pretty well. If I'm going to use that handle, I definitely do not want to stretch that anymore. So at this point, I am going to put it in the forge. I'm going to turn down the forge a little bit. I don't need it that hot anymore because my forge in is pretty well done. So I'm going to anneal this now. And how I anneal, I got my bucket here, and it is full of vermiculite. Yeah, you're probably not going to see it. It's full of vermiculite. And what vermiculite is well, it's a natural occurrent. If I'm not mistaken, it's naturally occurred. And it's really good at insulation. It's also really good for drainage with plants. And normally you find it in the garden center of your local hardware store. And I use it instead of like sand, solely because it doesn't collect moisture like sand does. So it stays drier, nicer. What I had a problem with sand is because my shop is not necessarily heated, other than when I'm forging, I get a lot of moisture in here. And there's been springs where my anvil and everything else that's a big chunk of steel is actually sweating. So there's been times where the sand has collected moisture in it, and I try and anneal something in it, and it actually ends up slightly hardening the steel. So I got tired of doing that because I don't feel like drying out my sand every time I plan on doing anything like this. So I moved to vermiculite. So we're just basically getting it up to, I'm actually heating it up a little bit more than I needed to. But we're getting it at the critical temperature, which basically means a magnet won't stick to it. And then I'm burying it in the vermiculite as far as I can. And that will allow it to cool down nicely all overnight. Another way you can do this, if you do have a propane forge, is that you could just leave the pieces in the forge at the end of the day when you shut down. And I've had good success with that if I'm doing a batch of hammers, where I'll have like 4 or 5 still sitting in the forge. I've had good success with that. Actually, I haven't had bad success. And that works out because the body of the forge still has all its heat in it from your day of forging. And that will slowly let off the heat as it cools down. Because your forge should be really insulated if you're having a propane forge. Now, of course, my forge is originally had close to 2 inches of insulation on all the way around. So some of the budget forges where it's only like 1 inch of insulation, you might not get the same result, especially one that has both sides open. But yeah, you can always try it. The worst happens is it slightly hardens and you have to anneal it again. And why we're annealing it is so it is nice and soft, so we can file and do all that nice stuff tomorrow with it. So that's pretty well forging done today. I will do a weigh-in of it tomorrow when I start the feed at 1:30, just so we can get an idea of what it is from a grinding point of view. Other than cleaning up the face and maybe odd spots here and there, it's pretty well where I want it. I might do a little bit on the cross peen just to smooth that out a little bit. But other than that, try to forge to finish. So that's pretty well it for the show today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, so we can finish this off. And I hope I taught you something or at least entertained you. So see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for watching.